welcome to MBA Mental Boost. This is your coach, Dr. Rosie. And today I want to talk about where you can create more simplicity. Where can you simplify things in your life, in your training, in your performance that is ultimately going to help you to amplify your performance. So I've probably spoken about this before. I love to think about simplify to amplify, and it's really a mantra, like it gets to be simple, is a mantra that I live by. It's how I live, it's how I work, it's pretty much how I do everything. And that, today's episode was spurred on because I've been doing this work myself today. So I've been working on batch creating content for social media because that takes me a lot of time. And I was realizing that making that content every single day was getting it was overloading my brain, because each time I was having to get into that creative zone, and that takes energy and it takes brain space. Then I was making the content, and then I was obviously coming out of that and doing something else. And so each day making that content, it was taking more and more time. When, if I'm being totally honest, what I really, really want to spend my day doing is serving. So for me, that's making my podcast, because making my podcast, I do like to do that daily because I like to bring you on that journey. I don't tend to batch my podcast content, which is why there'll be a gap sometimes between things. If life just gets in the way, or my coaching is busy, or I'm traveling or whatever, and then I'll bring you up to speed and be like, okay, this is what's happened over the last 2 weeks. I don't like batching my podcast. Same with stories. Instagram stories, I love to do in the moment, but it's nice and easy. It's quick. It doesn't take me very long. And then what I want to spend my day doing is that serving and learning. So serving via this, because for me, this is just a great way to drop you a quick audio note, and then serving my clients, going deep with them, holding that space where they can audio note, where they can text, and then learning. I'm all about learning and expanding my knowledge, and then being able to put that into practice via my podcast, via coaching my clients. That's it, serving and learning. And to me, that feels so simple. So anyway, coming back to the point. So I then spent sort of most of today actually batching social media content and being okay, it's out there, it's done. I don't have to think about it now. And the fact that I got into that kind of creative space and then was right, while I'm in that energy, just get it done. Batch content, put it out there, it's all good. And that really comes under that simplifying. So for me, that was an area that okay, that's a win where I can simplify things down. So coming back to you, because this podcast isn't about me, but I wanted to give you some context. Coming back to you, I want you to think about, okay, where are the areas in my life that I could just make a bit simpler right now? So it might be things like your morning routine. How are you starting that morning? Are you waking up and then straight on your phone? Because spoiler alert, if you are doing that, you are overloading your brain immediately. And depending on what you're seeing when you're scrolling, that can pretty much set the tone for your day. So, that could be a quick win. Thinking about your morning routine, how are you setting it up for peak performance and in the simplest way possible? So for me, I love to start the day with journaling, just get stuff out of my head. It helps me to mentally declutter. And then I like to meditate for the same reason. It just clears my mind, brings me to the present. It's just a great way to start the day. And then before I scroll on social media, I like to scroll in my vision board. So getting lost in my vision, it's one of my favorite things to do. Then that just sets my day up. It's simple, it's done. It's a routine for me, so it's a habit I do every single day. And then I move from that energy. Then thinking about, other areas where you could simplify. Are there relationships in your life that are creating overwhelm and stress and drama? I'm very much, friends think I'm mad for saying this, but I'm very much about I don't want any drama. We're pretty much I was going to say no drama, but everyone has probably bits of drama that, happen every so often. But as a family, we don't tend to have a huge amount of drama. I don't attract drama. I had to sort of release relationships that would create drama. So just thinking about okay, relationships, social networks, where can you simplify? Where can you create that simplicity? Thinking about training, what does training look like for you? Physical, but also mental. And where can you simplify there? Where can you just have that laser focus? Because again, simplicity doesn't mean easy, but where can you be so laser focused that training just becomes simple? You just know what you're doing. You're going through the motions, you're in flow, when we're thinking about that. In order to actually be in a flow state, like I said yesterday, we have to be able to calm our nervous system. We have to be able to move out of our thinking brain and into more of a kind of automatic response. So thinking about where can you be creating these systems and putting those systems in place and creating boundaries as well, putting that in place, that means that you can just be. You can be present. You can be focused on that one thing that you're focusing on right here in this moment. As much as we have other things going on, it's here in this moment, right now, I'm talking to you. Here in this moment, all I'm doing is staring at my microphone. I'm not looking on my phone. I've actually turned my watch vibration off, which is what I do when I'm coaching as well. I'm just sat here, and it feels so good, which is why I make so many podcast episodes. I was saying to someone earlier, I've got 76 episodes out. And they were like, 76? No way. And I was like, yeah, I went through a period of making these every day. Because actually, for me, it's double-edged. So one, I get to share knowledge with you. Because for me, I love to do that. If I can give you knowledge, give you value, give you something that you can take away and actually implement today, that's incredible for me, that I can help you with that. But then also, a little bit of a selfish reason. This is mindful. This is so mindful for me to just sit down and be 100% present. Because you can't make a podcast. I can't be recording this stuff if half of my brain is elsewhere, and it would come across when I'm talking. So that's what I wanted you to think about today. Where can you create more simplicity in your life? Where can you simplify? And remember that when we simplify, we amplify our performance. So keep coming back to that. So I hope you found this useful. And as always, I would love to know feedback. And it feels so, so good to be back in the rhythm of giving you these episodes. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of MBA Mental Boost, the secret weapon to supercharging your performance on the court. If you found today's episode useful, don't forget to subscribe and share. You can connect with me over on any social platform. You can find me at Dr Rosie Mead. Until next time, go out there and dominate using the power of your mind. This is Dr Rosie, signing off.